Dr. Umar Ifatunde or Johnson, whatever he's calling himself nowadays. So I recently listened to another interview on him, and the question I've come to ask myself is this dude a fraud, a secret agent, or is the school really just taking that long to build? What is he more like a broken clock situation? You know, a broken clock, right? Like 2 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Is this what he's devolved into? What do you think on the issue, on the matter? Because I'm seeing him pop up, but the headlines get more scandalous. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. Umar, like on Jay Z or Diddy or whatever. Like he's talking about more of the popular. To me, he's trying to clout chase a little bit more, or not even a little bit, like way more than what he used to be. So that's why I think he's more than questionable at this point. What do you think?
Um, you already saw me smiling when you first said it, so yeah, this about the this is about to be crazy because yeah, this is this is something a lot of people wonder. Some people, what is his name though? What we don't do? Did they reveal why he using a fictitious name? And
Yeah, he said I remember one of the interviews. He said he went under this ceremony, some kind of religious ceremony, and changed his name.
But he didn't do it legally.
I don't know if he did it legally, but
wait, Ifat, that's where you got the Ifatunde.
Ifatunde,
But I'm talking about the Dr. Umar.
That wasn't his name before?
I don't know. I heard something about that not being his real name. His real name was something different. And yeah, it was a lot of controversy. This is vague because it don't pay the bills. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
This is vague. At the end of the day, though, I like this because I was a fan of this, so to speak. Of his speaking style when he first came out. I love that he was sharing information about the system. But like I said, one of my flags, like I always find flags. Oh, even with myself, I'm like, wait a minute, that's flag. Anyway, I found a flag, right? My first flag was he was talking about people having degrees or whatever in some type of manner. He was addressing people who address themselves as experts or whatever because of their credentials, and that's basically why you got people to listen to him. As far as I know, because he called himself Doctor Umar, right? So the Prince of Consciousness came a little after that, I believe. When I first listened to his thing, it was like I don't know if they was like listen to this guy or listen to this dude or listen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they were saying listen to him or did I just come across it myself? But it was not Prince of nothing. It was Dr. Umar Abdullah.
Oh,
Johnson.
right, the Abdullah part. I forgot.
Abdullah Johnson. And he was speaking on the school system and how people was, and like when I don't know if it was that actual speech that I caught where he was saying he did some work with the prisons, where he would go and speak with the prisons, which would be, which is real cool if that's what's happening. I'm saying if because I don't know if it's happening because just because people say things don't make them true. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And but he spit fire. The way he spoke it, it was he delivered it. It was like it was well rehearsed or whatever. Even if it wasn't rehearsed, it seemed like it was well rehearsed. So the dude had flow. That's all I'm saying. It's just like when you hear a good, well, I don't know. We probably ain't heard no good rappers in a while, but I mean, outside of, I'm just saying, when you hear a good rapper, like somebody just flowing. Or a good song. Forget the rapping part. A good song, right? And they just flowing, right? And it's like, oh, that's, you know. I mean, I ain't talking like we have heard some good rap. That's why I said I forget the rap part because I'm starting to think of good songs that I heard, but I don't want to. I don't know if it was necessarily to the rap or it was to the music. You know, a little bit of both. I don't know, but what I'm saying is this was like a cappella. It wasn't like we was jamming to the beat. You know what I mean? Like this dude was just spitting that fire. He's like, look, if your children are in school, blah blah blah. This is and these them people ain't your friends. While you were sitting there, you know, telling them all your business. Stop telling them all. I've been saying this stuff for years. I've been on this same thing for years. So it was like it resonated with me real quick. I'm like, somebody else get it. You know what I mean? Like this is across the board with a few people with platforms that I can think of off the top. Some of them, you know, I can agree with 75%, 80%. Some of them I can't even get down with. You know, like 50%. That's it. Yeah. So he's just another voice that's is you know at this point it is really suspect. Really suspect. You know, I can't say what was what. You know, I really couldn't say.
Have you heard anything about Dr. Umar's credentials being called into question as a school psychologist?
No, I have not. I didn't question them, and I didn't do a research and background check and nothing like that. I mean, man seemed to sound like he knew what he was talking about. So that was good enough for me. I have to say, I'm one of them people that I had no reason to. I'm not, you know, I didn't have a reason to. I mean, he didn't say anything that I thought was incriminating. You know, that would put someone in a position to incriminate themselves. So, what is the reason to research? All he said was logical stuff. When you go to the school, act like you got some sense. Ask for proof. And if they cannot provide proof, deny whatever they're talking about without proof. You don't need to be a school psychiatrist to say them things. It just makes sense.
What about his consulting services with the parents? Because I don't know if he still does.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I believe he did offer that in the past.
And then, now this is something that, this might be a little more serious when you're talking about do you have credentials to consult or not. But at the same time, you're consulting. You're not saying, I'm going to fix you or I'm going to fix your problems. No, you're consulting, you know, which is, I don't know the proper definition of how you define consulting, but as far as my layman's definition of consultant, that just means I'm going to give you advice, my professional or my know-how, know-it-all, to help you out, do whatever you're trying to do. That's a consultant, period. You don't need no degrees. You don't need nothing else. There's nothing there to actually research and, you know, make sure you're 100% authentic about what you're talking about. You only want a person to consult because you heard this man speaking and you feel this man is knowledgeable enough to give you advice on whatever subject he was. So that should seal that contract right there. That should be enough for whoever. You know, who knows? They might just want to hear his voice personally. You know, or they might want to just hear him say their name. Whatever. That's the money's worth, in my opinion, right there. So as far as that, I see no reason for people to be against this man for anything in that area. Why were you just curious, or was it another reason you asked that?
I was mainly just curious.
Okay.
Because when you put it like that, it does make sense, especially when taking into the fact that as I've seen personally, that his information does seem to be correct, because the only dark-skinned person I knew at my school, at least, was on some was doped up for ADHD. The school gave her a diagnosis, and
Really? That was the only darker skinned person in your school?
No, just college? The only one that I was acquainted with.
Or?
Yeah.
Wow. That's I feel bad for that. I feel bad for you. Oh, whoa. But yeah, I mean, good, bad, and evil, right?
Right.
So with his, I would like to say this. You know, if you didn't give money to him, and you're not the, anybody didn't call you and say, hey, I gave money to this guy. I want him investigated. Blah blah. That's different. Because it does trip me out for somebody to hear somebody say, make a comment as if they shouldn't be concerned about where their money going. Like,
Right.
I can't remember exactly what I heard, but I'm like, wait, wait a minute now. If I gave you some money, I don't want to hear none of that. If you said it was going to whatever, it should be going to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If not, then give my money back. Or something.
I'm surprised I don't see more people up in arms about people who have donated to the school.
So which could say one or two things. They either okay with it not being like that, or they've seen enough proof or heard enough that they okay with it. And who should have a problem with it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, here's the thing. Yeah, this is an example if you want me to give you one, so you know exactly where I'm coming from with this. There was a thing. They said, send me, they had an article in the newspapers. They put an article in the newspaper, say, send me $1. I'll tell you how to get $1 million. Guarantee you on how you can get $1 million. And people would send them the dollar in the mail saying, tell me how I can get $1 million. And he would send them that back. And he would say, send this to however many more people, and at least to $1 million, people send you $1 back, and you'll get you $1 million. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but some people feel that's a scam.
I don't think it's a scam.
I don't think it's a scam either. I think it's legit. I think if you spend the money and enough people, you gotta spend it. Now of course you gotta hit different places. This takes work. You're just not gonna put one ad in and it's gonna just jump to another newspaper in another area and run your ad for free, right? So you gotta put in some work to do this. But once it's done, I don't know how much you spend in doing that. I don't know. But I'm going to guess in an area of 600,000 people, maybe you get 60,000 to hit you back with $1. So if you catch all these areas, who knows? Maybe you get more than that. Maybe you get 100,000 people or maybe you get 200,000 people or whatever the numbers are. That's work. Okay, I got that many to do it. I got to send back. Now you got to put in some more money. Your first money investment was the ad and your time, right? Your second investment is returning the mail, right? Now you got your further investment is going to be to duplicate this enough times till you get your money back. So, in which, like any business, you could lose out on your investment. What if you put the ad out and nobody replied? They're like, no, I'm up there now. We're not going to do that one. And nobody replied. So, this is one, and I don't say this often. Okay, no, I don't say this often. I was going to say, this is one where I think the government oversteps state boundaries when they say, oh, this can't fly. And this makes me very curious about who they are. And I got at least one cousin who would be like, who you talking about when you say that? You know who I'm talking about when I say that. When they're in trouble, then they know exactly who I'm talking about when I say that, right? Well, when you're not in trouble, you can try these little, I hang with the other people, so I know they, and don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about they empower. You know who I'm talking about? The ones who can go on TV, national TV or whatever, and do a Nazi salute and not get his house blown up or not get fired or not get, you know what I'm saying? That day, that's who I'm talking about. You know, and they try to act like they don't know. The kind of day that can incite a riot and still be cool to be a president in the next election, that day, dude, that day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, what? Dude, you know, some people. But as outlandish as a person tell, you know, especially a darker skinned person, telling me, like asking me, what day you talking about? As if they don't know what day I'm talking about. As outlandish as that is the same way I feel about this, the government getting into something like that. Saying, oh, you can't do that. Why? Because you didn't think of it? Because it's not your stick? I'm not doing anything wrong. You should not be involved. Okay. Or are you making people mad? Wait a minute. You don't make people mad every day? Parking tickets? Let's go. Stop sign? You ran the stop sign. You don't make people mad every day, but you don't stop that hustle. Because it is a hustle. Oh, you gotta. Why? Why do we have to stop at the stop sign if we didn't really cause the accident? Because you could call, but we didn't. But you could, but we didn't. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, should it really be illegal to run stop signs if you do not cause accidents? Or if you don't kill people by running them? If you do it and nothing happens, should you get a ticket for it? I don't know, I'm just saying. Oh, you could have, but you didn't. You get what I'm saying? You could do that all day, right? That's just one of them. Oh, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. So we never seen police do it? You saying it's more dangerous than chasing people with sirens and guns? It's more dangerous than that. Running all through all types of stop signs. You said it's more dangerous. I don't think so. I think the latter is more dangerous. Not only are you making these people panic, when you could just back off and catch them some other way.
Right.
Right? So you get to the point where what I'm saying is, right is right, right? And then you got the wrong is wrong. And then you got this middle part where you got to get to the both. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Some of this is going to be logical, or we're gonna deal with the illogic. What are we talking about?
So then how would you feel about like crypto like rug pulls? You know what I'm referring to?
Crypto? Like cryptocurrency?
Yes. Like when people do the rug pull, the rug pulls.
Rug pulls?
Yeah.
Like they pulling it from somebody's feet, tripping them and making them fall and hit their head or whatever.
Pretty much.
A rug pull?
Yeah, do you know how it works? So they'll like make this coin or whatever. They'll like tell their audience, oh, buy this, and then they buy it. And then they like sell all the shares.
I like this one. This one is an easy one. Like this one is easy to me. So first of all, how do you get an audience from a cryptocurrency? Let's start there. How do you do that?
Creator.
Like, what kind of people are these? They're like, ooh, what? You want me to be your audience for a cryptocurrency? Of course I will.
Because most of them have audiences from other things too. Like I think Trump just launched a coin.
Okay. So who cares about them losing their money? If this dude, this is who you gonna follow and get a cryptocurrency from? You deserve anything you got coming. I'm just saying, and I ain't hating on them. I'm just saying. That's just, hey, if you get riches, you get riches. But if you lose your money, you deserve everything you got coming. Excuse
me. I'm like 90% sure rug pulls are illegal though, but they pick and choose who they go after.
I don't understand. What is this rug pull thing?
So it's
So I think it's similar to what you're explaining, similar to like in stocks or pumping them. You know, pumping them.
A pump and dump?
Yeah, pump up the stock and sell your shares.
So this pump and dump thing it was so easy to fix this that it's almost ridiculous. But I almost cringe when I think about how our so-called leaders, leaders don't fix this, right? If you pump and dump a stock, then you're gonna pay the people that lost the money. It's really easy. It's a simple, really
Right.
simple thing.
That's kind of what rug pulls are, though. And because I think what makes it illegal is because a lot of times there's like a lot of insider trading.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So so now we're dealing with two different things because first, like the cryptocurrency is wild to me. Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna sell you a digital number, and you're gonna give me money based on this number and how much I say it's worth. If you're willing to invest in that, then you know what I mean. Like okay, where's that going on? So I think it's two different things. You're talking about crypto and you're talking about uh, pumping up a stock market thing. So stock market's been around for longer and all that. And it's got its own type of way to get out, right? One of the things that I believe changed in the stock market is how you can get in it in the first place, which was a scam off the bat to me. Like, wait a minute, you can't just go to your bank and put in the stocks. That was the number one red flag to me. Wait, we gotta give you somebody some money. We don't know where they at. We can't go to them. We can't burn their stuff down if they don't give out money. But that's okay with everybody? Yeah, maybe not for the common person, right? Because you ain't got that much to lose. Richer people, yeah, they can put money into it, and if it's gone, it's gone. But if you put money into it and lose it, what are you gonna do? You can't even afford legal fees. So this is what I tell everybody. If you can't afford the legal fees to get that money, you need to back up off of that. Unless you got some type of hookup with a legal lawyer that will go and fight for you, or you got some other angle that you can get this money back in case, then you need to leave that alone. You gambling. That's all it is. It's gambling, straight gambling. Even with the crypto, even right now, Bitcoin, the number one cryptocurrency. How many years has it been out?
20 plus years, I guess.
And tell me why is Bitcoin viable?
Because you can buy things without tracing it, I believe.
Because you can buy things without doing what?
Tracing it.
Do you truly believe you can buy something without being traced?
I don't know.
Okay, so I ask you again, why is Bitcoin viable? And I do oh, my bad. This is what I say to everybody. Like, why is Bitcoin viable?
Because some people said it was valuable, pretty much.
Okay, some people say because it's not the central bank, it's not the main bank, it's not. And I'm like, okay, but the bank is still there, right? Yeah, but they don't keep money in the bank. But the bank is still worth something, right? Yeah, but if you put so much money, but how much money are you talking about putting in the bank? Can you go down there, rip out a wall or a window or something to get your money back? Most likely you can. Okay, you're right. You can go down there and say, hey, how much is that desk worth? That's about $5 there. Give me that. Let me get that up off you too. You know, like, can you go down there and take one of the automatic banking machines or something? I mean, is it some money? Is it something you invested in? Like you can see and actually feel your investment in some type of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's a physical location. It's something you can say, okay, I see where my money's supposed to be. I got these people to talk to. And if they ain't got my money, I'm taking their money. You know what I mean? Like this is just like some type of logic. It's kind of ill. You don't want to go there, but I'm just saying it's something. But when you talk about a crypto, Bitcoin, or I don't care what coin, where are you going to get your money? What happens when your money is just gone?
Right.
What do you do? Like, what do you do? You cry? You but who you crying to? The same people who took your money? Like, who knows who's really behind this, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like all in your face, but not there. It's like ghost. They should call them ghost coins. They should call all of them ghost coins. Ghost coin 1, 2, 3, 4, because all of them is ghost coins.
Right.
There is no real nothing. Oh, we tracking it. Everybody get to track it. We got this long list of numbers when they track it. What you gonna do with that? You can't take that to your bank. You can't
Right.
cash that in for no money, right?
Mhm.
Oh, but you can get credit. You mean the same credit they can just wipe out? Oh, your password don't work. What do you mean it don't work? It don't work. What you want me to do? I got $1 million of Bitcoin. So what? We don't. Yeah, you got to go take that up with the Bitcoin. Where you going? You get what I mean? Like this is if you can't, if the government get involved in something where you can run an ad in the newspaper, you actually working for that money. You actually giving a return. You're actually doing the service. How do you think? Why is Bitcoin surviving? Why is there so many different Bitcoins when the value is this much? This sound has more value than Bitcoin. Somebody could want this sound on their record, or and it just has more value. Can you make that sound again? You know what I mean? Like I can do that. Well, what can you do with the Bitcoin? Like it could just disappear.
Right.
Nothing.
So yeah, I mean, you put it like that.
Of course, you're gonna have your people that try to argue up and down, and I would just be like, okay, I'll give you the floor. Just tell them I'll stop you when you convince me that is worth something. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm saying that with the exception that it's worth scamming other people for. Yeah, if you got in early and you got a piece, other people want it. So it's like a scam that what should I say? Because because it's supposed to be a service, right?
Right.
But it's supposed to be a service as in like a credit card service, but they don't give you credit. You get what I mean? So it's like it's real. It's like one of the best things. It's laughable things I've seen in a long time too. Because the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm like, this is just not gonna work. Like at the end of the day, what Bitcoin up to now? I don't know. Let's just say let's say Bitcoin is at. Matter of fact, do a quick search. What is a Bitcoin worth right now? One Bitcoin. What is it worth now? No, I want to have this number. And I want to say no matter what it's at, and how many Bitcoins was supposedly made. This is another thing.
100,000.
One Bitcoin is over $100,000.
Yeah, they're on the negative though. They stock at least.
Their stock is in the negative. Why they stock?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many Bitcoins was made? Because they had a number, which was another thing that tripped me out on. Like they sold the world on this.
Almost 20 million Bitcoin.
Okay, $100,000, 20 million Bitcoins. Oh, whatever the math is, right? Okay, just say 20 million or 200 million? How many did you say?
20 million.
Okay, 20 million Bitcoin sold. All of them sold right now, right? That means everybody gave their physical cash to the Bitcoin. Where's the cash?
I don't know.
Do you think these people know?
No.
I mean, it's just, where is the physical cash. Like, we get physical cash from the bank.
Right.
Where do you get the physical cash? From the Bitcoin.
I don't think you do.
For a long time, they said, oh, you can go here and use your Bitcoin. And then I found out, oh, you can't go there and like cash your Bitcoin out. You can just go there and use credit from the Bitcoin. So now I'm thinking, they just stole everybody cash. It gave them some credit for it.
Right. Oof. That's exactly what they did.
Would you accept Bitcoin right now?
No.
I wouldn't either. So to us, it's worthless. And since we are the majority, to the majority of the world, Bitcoin is worthless. Now you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? It's only viable to who?
The people who
Who helped
Bitcoin.
running the scam?
Yeah.
Who benefiting from the scam? Who benefiting from? Even if it's not a scam, maybe I'm mislabeling it. Maybe it's not meant to be a scam. Maybe it is supposed to be a new currency or something. But it doesn't make sense when we already got credit. Why don't you just say credit coin? Credit coin, you can do all this stuff. We'll give you credit and you do all this stuff. If you mess your credit, whatever, that's where the money come in. You can start paying to rebuild or whatever. I don't know, do some type of thing. But but you get the difference is this is Bitcoin, this is credit coin. I give you no money for this one. But this one, you got to pay all your money and then your money disappears and you can't get it back because you don't know where you even gave it to. You don't know who you gave it to. How do you even get the money? When you buy Bitcoin, how do they get it?
I'm not sure. I know you have like some kind of crypto wallet, but I don't know what that's through. How?
That's another thing.
I don't know.
So in order to buy a crypto coin, now you buy a crypto wallet. This is great stuff. I can't even believe so many people fell for it. I had this one guy I know. At the gas station. He said something about Bitcoin. I said, and I said, you ain't investing in Bitcoin? And he was like, no, I don't understand it. And I was like, well, it's supposed to be digital currency. Because I love that he said I don't understand. Because I'm like, what is it to understand?
Right.
It's exactly what you think it is. It's not beneficial to you. You know what I mean? Like you don't. It ain't the bank. It ain't like the bank. What are you talking about buying credit? You talking about giving your money to some people who are giving you credit, a credit currency that's harder than a credit card to use. And you're supposed to be okay with that? You're going to buy an extra service to use. And you're supposed to entrust that this service is supposed to work, even though we have reports of people being locked out of their Bitcoin. It's amazing. That's the remarkable. My brother would like that one. Well, I don't know if he remembered, but we used to always say, joke about that one. Remarkable. It was so remarkable. Some of the intelligence to the unintelligence. Remarkable. And if I'd have got in on that Bitcoin, I could have got advantage of all these people too. I could have been on top of it. Oh my goodness. But I'm glad. All money ain't good money. This is a perfect example.
Right.
How guilty could one feel? And you sitting on millions and billions of dollars from something that doesn't make sense. And you like, how can I provide a service that makes sense?